And hello, welcome to GBN Live. I'm Todd Cartner, your host, and we have a great show for you today. We want to thank our sponsor, Grand Strand Law Group. As always, you can reach them at 843-492-5422, or you can reach them online at grandstrandlawgroup.com. They have offices in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, and they want to be your trusted choice. They're their real estate attorneys, as well as doing wills and trust. Also, make sure you give your permission to Facebook so that we can see your comments on live. Blah, 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 blah. Having problems talking this morning. You can do that by going to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and we'll be able to answer those on air. So if you have any questions for today's guest or for GBN, type them in your comments and we'll be glad to answer them. Today's guest is Lee Ann Shelton. And she is part of our Rivertown chapter. There she is. So we're going to get her on in just a moment. Guys, stay tuned. GBN Live is next. All right, folks, welcome back. And today I have with me Lee Ann Shelton. She is with our Rivertown chapter over in the Conway area, and she is a real estate agent with Duncan Group Properties. Welcome, Lee Ann.
Yes, hello. So it's such a pleasure to be here this morning.
Yeah, I know. We've been trying to get you on for a while. Yeah.
I'm excited to be here today.
Well, awesome. Sure. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, where you're from, that kind of stuff.
Okay. My name's Lee Ann Shelton, and I work with Duncan Group Properties. Duncan Group Properties located in Conway on Church Street. The broker in charge there is Michelle Duncan, and her son Ford also is there. And with their impeccable knowledge, skills, and training, I couldn't ask to be at a better brokerage.
Awesome.
Myself, I do have two beautiful daughters, 24 and 28. What most people don't know about me.
28. Hold on a minute. I got to interrupt you. You don't look old enough to have a 28-year-old daughter. Come on.
Thank you. But yes, I
28.
Do.
Wow.
28.
Mine's 22 and 18. So.
So you're there with me, but
yeah, they're getting
situations and issues. They come over to shop at my house.
Exactly. What's in the fridge, Dad?
Yeah, I can't keep pickles for nothing. That's
right.
For sure.
Exactly.
But what most people don't know about me is that I did marry my middle school sweetheart.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And back in 1991, we didn't have text messages, so he passed me a note that said, "Will you go with me? Yes, no, or maybe."
Exactly. They wrote a song about that, didn't they?
I checked maybe. But 33 years later, we're still madly in love.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I did grow up here in the South Carolina area till about the age of 9, and then I moved to Kentucky. And then we moved back here about 7 years ago. So
wow.
When I'm in Kentucky, they say I have an accent. When I'm here, they say I have an accent. I just know I'm country. That's all.
That's all that matters, isn't it?
That's
exactly right.
And I love it. So.
Yeah. So as a real estate agent, let's just talk about how you feel the market's doing now. And I know it's, since COVID, it has been a roller coaster. So just tell us about how you feel the market's doing right now, and anything that would be of interest that you think is standing out.
Well, the market right now in our area is on the rise. At Duncan Group Properties, we have had a busy first quarter, but we are steadily preparing for the peak season that's coming up here in the spring and summer months. And there are, of course, a lot of factors that go into why this is our peak season, of course. Right. We do have a lot of tourists that come in. They want to see properties. They fall in love with the area just as most people have, and they want to buy properties here. Other factors that might drive our busy market would be the school calendar. Lots of people want to put their house on the market or be in their new home before school lets out. Lots of sellers want to put their house on the market while it's pretty outside, while the flowers are in bloom, the house is more marketable. Lots of reasons that factor into why this is our upcoming busy season.
Yeah. Usually it starts, or it has started by now, and that has been a little slower, and you usually see it pick up during an election year, and that hasn't happened as much either yet. And that. I'm not trying to get political here, but it does get a little, concerning, because we haven't seen that. So that's something that we got to keep an eye on. Yeah. So typically in Myrtle Beach, your condos and townhomes are just as much of a product that people want to buy as your single family homes. What are you seeing with condos and townhomes right now?
Well, as far as the CCAR stats go, the median sales price in March of 2023, the median sales price was about $348,000. In March of 2024, the median sales price was about $390,000. So it has gone up a little bit, but the good news about that is that our single family homes, the median sales price, had actually come down by 4%. So the increase in price that we do see is that 11% increase in condos and townhomes.
Yeah. You know, something that a lot of people don't think about is resale homes, something that's been sold already that's being resold. Those prices are driven by new construction because, you know, the new construction prices, and if you buy something for $400,000, a resale is going to be right under that if it's a fairly new home.
Correct.
Something I've noticed since COVID is it's very difficult for a national builder such as a D.R. Horton or Lennar or a Beazer Home, that kind of stuff. Ryan Homes is now big in this area. It's hard for them to go into phase 2 and sell the exact same model for a less price than they did in phase 1.
Right.
So you are seeing a lot of times with new home, they're giving new incentives, that kind of stuff. They've definitely teamed up. Some of them have even started their own mortgage company as an arm of it.
Yeah.
So they're giving some different incentives. And that's hard to compete with a resale.
Because they're buying down that rate.
Right. So, you know, sometimes you can, if you're interested in selling your home, be open to some creative negotiations, because that could help you sell that house. And sometimes you can even get more for it if you're willing to pay down. You're not going to profit as much or as more, but if somebody's willing to pay more if they can use that money to buy down a rate or something like that, that's going to save the buyer in the long run.
There's lots of options for buyers and sellers.
Yeah. So we've talked about the average prices, and you know, resales have come down, or single family homes have come down a little bit. One of the things that's driving the condos and the townhomes, we were talking about it before the show, is that insurance is killing people on condo, especially for investment properties.
And they're seeing a lot of assessments to make up for that.
Right. The HOA dues are going up because of that, which
and
I'm going
that
to tell
makes
you.
a big difference in their closing cost.
Exactly, and it also determines what their affordability rate is.
Right.
You know, one of the things that there's a property that I showed here a couple weeks ago, and their HOA dues went from I think it was $225 a month, and it's $495 now. That's a huge difference, and that's going to slow the sales in that community.
A great deal, especially and I don't want to say name any actual condo areas.
Yeah, right.
But there are some that are in the thousands for the HOAs for the special assessments and rebuilds and constructions that they've done. And we're even seeing where you can have two condos, one that has a larger price, but the monthly payment's cheaper because of those HOA dues.
Right, exactly. And usually with buying down a rate, and of course neither of us are mortgage lenders, but you put $1,500 down, and sometimes you can buy half a point if you put it down in buying that rate. And that could save you thousands over a year. So that's something to think about. Sometimes it's better not to put as much money down and to buy a point down or a half a point down, and you're going to save a lot more money over the course of the loan. So,
excuse me.
I told you we talk a lot, and you get dry mouth in here. So so this is something that I think a lot of people struggle with when it comes to buying a property, because we buy with our eyes. You know, we walk in and say, "Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is what I want." You know, what do you tell somebody that's looking to buy a property that you know is grossly overpriced?
Excuse me. So the first thing that I want to do, and I apologize.
Keep drinking. Yeah, we have some good stuff in these mugs.
The first thing that I want to do is establish reasonable expectations. We need to sit down, have a conversation, build a strategy, because every home purchase is unique, and discuss all of the possible outcomes, and knowing that at the end of the day, this may not be our perfect property.
Right. Well, there's a lot of factors that go into that too. You don't know what their situation is. You know, they may have to move here because mom or dad may have gotten a job here, so they have to move, and sometimes that drives the urgency to purchase. And one thing that I've noticed here in the last year or so, you know, Horry County, not just Myrtle Beach, but Horry County is the fastest growing destination to move to in the country. which brings a lot of challenges in itself. We need more roads if you're watching in your own council. There you go. All the retirees are moving down here, so now we're seeing their children wanting to move to be closer to grandma and grandpa.
Right.
And that's been some struggles because we don't have the jobs here, so I think that, in me looking at it, and please feel free to chime in, but I think that the market's going to have to correct itself some, but I don't expect a huge correction in the next couple of years. I don't, because like I said, it's driven by the new home sales.
Yeah, we have all those new communities and hundreds of houses going in and no jobs to support those.
Right. Yeah. I will have been here 34 years this coming September that I've lived here. And I never in my life thought I'd see a subdivision going up in Aner. And they're all the way out into Gallowitz Ferry and Green Sea. It's crazy. We can't build but so much more land.
I know, right?
I don't know, but anyway. Guys, stick with us. After the break, we're going to talk about whether now is a good time to buy or sell real estate. So stick with us. GBN Live will be right back.
Hi, I'm Justice Ann. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that the qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today. And good morning. Welcome back to GBN Live. I'm Todd Cartner, your host, and today we have with us Lee Ann Shelton. She is a realtor with Duncan Group Properties over in Conway, and she's part of our Rivertown chapter. And we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Grand Strand Law Group. You can reach them at 843-492-5422. Or online at grandstrandlawgroup.com. They want to be your trusted choice with offices in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach. If you're watching and you have questions for our guest today or for GBN, please type them in your comments and we'll do our best to get them answered on live. You can do that by going to streamyard.com/Facebook. All right, welcome back, Lee Ann. So tell us, what would you tell somebody right now if they were thinking about selling their home?
If they were selling their home, I would tell them that now is the time. They really need to get their house ready, get it marketable, get it on the market as soon as possible, and hopefully beat the competition coming in the peak season. If they beat that competition, they have the potential to maybe get a higher sales price.
Right. And that is coming up. It typically starts in the spring and goes through probably the first half of summer, and then everybody's on vacation, so it gets crazy at that point. But so yeah, you're right. Now is the time. So if I were selling my home, what would you tell me to do to get ready?
Well, you definitely mostly get the yard taken care of, get inside the house, of course, get it all cleaned up, maybe move some of your knickknacks, personal things out of the home, because you want to take yourself out of the home and so that people, when they come in, can put themselves in the home.
Exactly. I always like to say that the buyers want to see themselves living there, not you.
Right, exactly.
Right. So that is good. And some tips that I've learned over the years, and I'm gonna kind of throw you off guard here because we didn't really talk about it, but just putting out mulch. And inside the house or pressure wash your house, you can do that yourself pretty cheap.
Right.
And inside the house, painting just the baseboards and the trim makes a world of difference.
Yeah,
if you
fresh
can't
coat of
afford to
paint.
paint the walls and everything, just a fresh coat of paint on the trim work makes a world of difference.
Yes, it does. Yes,
So
it does.
yeah. And like she said, get all the personal stuff. I went to a house
No
one
porcelain
time.
piggies.
I know, right? I went to a house one time and they had a long hallway. There were 5 bedrooms off of this hallway.
Right.
So you can imagine how long it was. From floor to ceiling were picture frames of all of the family. I bet you there had to have been 200 picture frames of all sizes on that wall. And I said to the lady, I said, "You're not going to like what I'm getting ready to say." And she said, "Okay." I said, "You need to get rid of all this."
Yeah.
She said, "What? That's my family." I said, "Yeah, but your family ain't going to be the one living here."
And I've had clients that have come in and seen all those pictures and be like, "Well, I don't want to take their home from them."
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're like, well, maybe they want, they want to sell the house,
Yeah, you want to sell it and you want to continue living there with a new
But
family, I
yeah,
guess.
your buyers, they do feel bad. Then they're
Yeah.
like, well, I don't want to take their house. So.
Yeah, that's great. So if somebody is buying a house, what would be the first step in the buying process?
Oh, that's to call me. Call me, and we would definitely set up a buyer's consultation, have a conversation, get to know the client, find out what their real estate goals are. Not everybody's goals are the same, and really delve in.
Yeah.
Just call me.
Yeah. And the next step is talk to a mortgage lender.
Of course.
Because you want to find out how much she can go around and show you what to buy.
Right.
So that's awesome. So a lot of people don't know what to expect when they sit down with that consultation. It's very simple. It's basically a conversation so that you can better understand what their goals are.
Yeah, what their goals are.
And you come up with a plan on how to get that.
Right. And we say goals because we don't necessarily mean wants, because wants and needs can be different things. So we definitely need to establish what those goals are and what that means.
Exactly. I told somebody one time, they said, "Well, we want a swimming pool." And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Here's the price level of the ones with a pool."
Right.
And I said, "Why don't you just change that to you want to have enough space to put a pool when you're ready?"
Right, right.
And so yeah, that's kind of funny. So what should people consider when they're looking to buy a home? What are some of the things that they need to be considering?
Well, you need to get all your coins and your ducats in the row. You need to talk to me, your realtor, talk to your lender, get everything ready so that when that perfect property does come up, you can pull that trigger right away. Because with increased competition, the prices may rise, and you could be priced out of that home that you wanted so bad.
Yeah, and I always tell people when whatever they're approved for, come under that, because that leaves you room to negotiate.
Of course.
If you go top dollar or a little bit over, thinking you're going to be able to negotiate it down, and then something unexpected comes up,
Exactly.
you're left empty-handed, if you will. So I know this is a hot topic because, and I want to talk about a different aspect of this first, but let's talk about interest rates and where you think they're heading. One of the things that I just purchased a new car in December, and the bank that I've been with since I've lived in Myrtle Beach for 34 years, their best rate on a new car was 9.8%. That was their best rate. If it was a used car, it went up over 10%. And so the car dealership had a 3.8%, I think, for up to 6 years, which is huge, So unfortunately, you can't do that with a mortgage lender by finding those kind of deals. But that just shows you where the interest rates have gone. Another thing while I'm thinking about it, that people need to do when they're preparing to buy a home is they need to talk to an insurance company and find out how much their insurance is going to be, because insurance rates have skyrocketed.
Or whether the insurance company will even insure.
Right, because a lot of locations, there's a lot of insurance companies that won't insure east of the waterway now, which is scary.
Close to the water, needing flood insurance, or older homes as well.
Yeah, yeah. I spoke to an insurance agent the other day, and they said that they will not insure any house that has a roof that's over 12 years old.
Yeah.
Which that's scary in itself.
Yeah, so it's important to talk to to your insurance person, your lender, your realtor, and get all that stuff in a row. But what I think is the most important to note about interest rates is that what they quote on the media is a national average.
Right.
And interest rates are very specific to individuals. So it's important to talk to your professionals and find out, and maybe focus more on what you want your monthly payment to be, not so much about the
Right.
rate. Figure out what you need your monthly payment to be and find out what your options are.
Yeah. My mom and dad built a house in 1978, and they paid 18 3/4 interest rate. So it's less than that right now, which is a good thing. You're not going to pay that kind of rate.
Right.
But I look at it this way: is if you're paying a higher interest, or interest rates change every day. It's not it's not a once a month thing. It's every day. And I look at it that if you can afford that payment right now, then go ahead and get the house you want. And then just keep an eye on the interest rates. And when they start dropping, refinance. That makes a big difference.
Right.
So that's something that people need to look at. So, all right. So I know this one confuses some people too, because they simply don't know. What should they look for when choosing a realtor? What's that? What are the main things they want to look for in getting that real estate?
Well, knowledge of the local market, of course, is a key to supporting whether they're buying or selling. But the number one important thing is communication. Communication is key with any relationship. Communication is key, and that's not just with your clients, but with everyone that's involved in the transaction: your attorneys, your vendors, your lender, everybody that's involved. But me personally as a realtor, I want everyone to know that I'm very intentional with my clients, and that I'm not in the business of selling houses. I'm in the business of working with clients and helping them reach their real estate goals.
Right. And that makes a big difference too, because if first of all, personalities, not everybody clicks,
Exactly, yeah.
But find out what they're going to do. What communication are you going to do? We were talking about this.
What processes do they have? How is have that buyer consultation, establish everything in the beginning, and having the communication. And if they answer text, always get back with them,
Right.
Right away.
And there's some clients that don't want to be bothered by phone calls and emails. They only want a text message.
Right.
And only when these things happen. So yeah, so having that sit down, that's that initial consultation we were talking about. And those are the questions that you want to ask your realtor. What's the best way? Or tell them this is the best way I want to communicate. How do you like to communicate? What you want to communicate? What information you want? That kind of stuff. So there's a lot of cool things there. So, guys, you know what time that is. It's time for rapid fire, and so we're going to get to know Lee Ann just a little bit better here. So here's some questions just to get to know you a little better.
Okay.
So, what was your first job?
My first job, actually, it was my very favorite job. I worked with schizophrenics.
Oh, really? Tommy, we've never had that one before.
I did. It was very, very interesting. They always say it's a thin line between very intelligent and crazy. And
That's true.
And they were all very intelligent people.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
We need to bookmark that one.
I didn't know you were going to ask me that question.
Well, of course, that's why it's called rapid fire. So, are you a night owl or an early bird?
I'm an early bird. I get up early in the morning, even on my days off, and the older I get, I seem to get, the energy falls down towards the end of the day. So I'm definitely an early bird.
So you're in bed by 7 p.m.
I'm in bed early. I am.
Dog or a cat person?
Well, I don't have any grandkids, but I do have 3 grand dogs. So I know they would like for me to say dogs, but I like cats because I think they're sassy, they're smart, and they don't do what you tell them to do. But
Yeah, they sure don't. That's for sure. Dark or milk chocolate?
Chocolate all the way, always. Chocolate is definitely my weakness.
So either dark or milk?
I like milk, but chocolate for sure.
Oh, just any of it. Okay. Favorite color?
Green.
Green. We had that one a couple weeks ago, I believe. So yeah. Favorite word or phrase?
Word or phrase? I don't know.
That one seems to stump people more.
Yeah, quality was the word that popped in my head.
Well, there you go. It's
know.
quality. That's the answer. So, all right, good. Favorite movie or actor?
My favorite movie is Stand By Me.
Oh, wow. Gosh, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yes, love that one. Or The Wizard of Oz. Those two.
Yeah, I'll have to put that one down on my list.
That's my top 3. Wizard of Oz, Grease, and Stand By Me.
Yeah, I love Wizard of Oz. I loved Wizard of Oz. And when they came out with just the show Oz with Johnny Depp. I hated it. I watched 2 seconds of it and I turned it off. I said, this is not going to be the same type of movie.
I've been waiting my whole life for them to come out with the movie The Wicked.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I've read the book like 4 times.
Yeah.
And I read that.
Another favorite of mine was Willy Wonka, and I couldn't stand that one when they came out with the remake on that one.
Yeah, they made it too dark.
But anyway, favorite song or artist?
Favorite song is The Wind Beneath My Wings.
Bette Midler. There you go. Nice.
I had not prepared for these answers. So.
Well, that's why we call it rapid fire, right? So, favorite vacation spot?
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Wow.
Jamaica.
And favorite mobile app? What kind of app do you use? Is there anything that motivational type or anything like that?
Well, right now I'm doing a lot of Duolingo.
Oh, nice.
Trying to broaden. It wasn't a requirement when I was in school to take Spanish, and I really regretted that. And would like to be able to broaden my market and be able to talk to people who speak Spanish. So.
Yeah. Sure, that's the one that I would go with, here because that's the most.
Which reminds me, I need to do my lesson.
Well, we'll let you get to that. All right, guys, if you want to get in touch with Lee Ann, you can reach her at 843-443-5168. That's 843-443-5168. Or you can reach her at Duncan Properties, DuncanGroupProperties.com. That's it. So, Lee Ann, before we go, we always like to ask this question. Tell us what referral networking means to you, and specifically why you chose GBN.
Networking is very important because referrals do work. And actually, my very first home sale was a GBN referral.
Nice.
So, I chose GBN because I have been involved with GBN, and I've gone to some of the meetings, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere. I really do believe in the philosophy that friends first, business second. Because if you do know and trust one another, you will naturally refer business to each other.
That is exactly right. So, well, guys, if you are interested in buying property, especially in the Conway area, because that's where she's located, but she can cover all of the Grand Strand and
that's right. But I just have one question for you.
Even Georgetown County. What's that?
I just got one question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know anybody in the area that needs to buy or sell a home today?
I love it. Maybe. Anyway,
with that being said, GBN rocks.
That's right. GBN rocks, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, Lee Ann. And guys, stick with us after the break. We're going to have Will Smith with Made Moves 007. Well, we'll find out what that's all about. We'll see you next time. GBN Live. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Justice Ann. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today. All right, folks, welcome back to GBN Live. I'm Todd Cartner, your host, and we would like to thank our sponsor, Grand Strand Law Group. You can reach them at 843-492-5422 or online at grandstrandlawgroup.com. They have offices in Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, and they want to be your trusted choice. They are your real estate attorney, and they also do wills and trust as well. Make sure you give permission to Facebook so we can view your comments on air. You can get them at StreamYard.com/Facebook to give them permission, and we'll get those answered on air if we can. If you have any questions for today's guest, just type them in the comments. And today's guest is the one and only, the Mr. Will Smith, the original. And we'll get to him in just a moment. He is with Made Moves 007. And so stay tuned. GBN Live. We'll be right back. Guys, here it is, the one and only, the real Mr. Will.
Hello, everybody. I'm
And how
happy
you
to be
say
here
it?
today. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah.
The real Mr. Will.
The real Mr. Will. That's right, Will Smith. And Will's been with us for a long time. He was one of the original members up here in the Myrtle Beach market.
Yes.
So tell us about yourself, where you're from, family, that kind of stuff.
Well, Todd, I'm originally from Anderson, South Carolina, the Electric City. All right. We were like the first people to have electricity, literally, in upstate. I grew up in church every Sunday. I grew up in the Boy Scouts. I grew up learning to help people, and I fell in love with helping people. So I'm married today, fast forward, 3 children, 2 boys.
3 awesome children.
They're awesome. I can brag about them all day. # proud dad. That's me.
I'll brag about them too.
And 2 boys and a girl. And I'm married to a nurse who's an amazing lady that is just phenomenal, just all the way around. And she's always pushing me to be better. So
He's the real Mr. Will, but she wears the pants in the family.
sometimes.
So I want to quickly talk, and like I said, you have 3 great kids. They've always been so well-mannered and respectful to me when I'm around them. But let's quickly, we're going to do this. Talk about your daughter and her. I mean, she is just killing it in track.
Yes, she is. JaniaMSmith.com.
He's already got a website for her. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, after she won the USATF local long jump 2 years in a row, and she won the 200 meter in Georgetown 2 years in a row, I figured, it looks like there's some potential there. Let's go ahead and lock in that domain name. So yeah, my baby girl is definitely doing well, and she has been doing some running for the high school too, and she's still only 12 years old. So
I know, yeah. Well, you're exactly right, because now's the time you want to do it. Start capturing that video, because that's what these recruiters look for when it comes time for college. So yeah, that's great. So and he and I share some stuff, because he has a son that's autistic, and I have a nephew that's autistic. And as a matter of fact, we were just talking. My nephew, his name's Caden. We were just talking this past week. He wants to start a talk show podcast type stuff. We're trying to figure out what he wanted to do. And one of the things was he talked about possibly interviewing other autistic kids, which I thought would be a great way to, get one to do. I think because when you have autism, talking about it with other kids or other even adults that have autism, you can learn so much from each other. Yes. I mean, he thrives when he's around other kids with autism. It's crazy.
Jeremiah too.
Yeah, he comes out of his shell. And then your other son, he's in sports too, right?
Jordan's really, he doesn't take any extra push. He'll go out and practice on his own. Matter of fact, today he asked me if he could go to the fun warehouse because they canceled practice this morning, and he wants to go skate for an hour and a half.
Wow. So 3 awesome kids, like I said. And, his wife's awesome too, but, anyway. So we talked a lot about who he is. So let's get into to your business, Made Moves 007. So tell us about the company and how it got started and what got you into that.
Well, Made Moves 007. First of all, our motto is from the pod to the penthouse. And basically that means that we do the small moves and the larger moves up to like 2 26-footers. Because a lot of times people are really hesitant, and they're kind of embarrassed if they have a small move.
Right.
And they'll, kind of get around to it. Well, it's not really that much. So we let people know from the pod to the penthouse. If it's just one, not even a regular pod, if it's a U-Haul box, that some people might say, oh, that person and their kids could have did that. But we'll come out, take everything, place it, or either load it however they want it, and basically just cater to their specific need. How did I get into moving? Well, I was working in the vacation industry, and there was a young guy that obviously watched me and liked my professionalism and integrity. And that was in 2011. And in 2017, this guy called me to help him out. At first, I said no. But because he was probably 12 plus years younger than me, I said, you know what? I know how hard it is to start a business and to keep it going. And I called him back and I said, look, I'll help you out if you have a shortage of like one guy and everything's the money's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, 2017 August, I started helping him maybe 2 or 3 times that year. 2018, a few times. 2019, people actually started requesting me, like, is Will going to be on that job? Because we started to have a lot of repeat customers. Sure. You've been in real estate. You've seen people come down and maybe put their things in storage while they're getting a home built.
Sure. Yeah.
So we started doing a lot of those, put the things in storage, but they like the way I maneuvered and they like the way I manage the guys and things like that. So from that point, I just kind of started leveling up in his company. And fast forward, he kind of got into some real estate, but he still does moving. And just, I don't know, things just kind of, by 2021, which was 4 years and 2 months later after I started with him, things just kind of went to where two of the crew leaders in the company were thinking about doing some other things, and one was a younger guy, and he said, well, I'm thinking about starting my own business. And I said, I'll help you. And so I gave him the name Made Moves, and he didn't really like it because it was too close to the company we were working for, which I have no beefs against.
Right.
I love the owner. We still communicate from time to time. And but the guy never did anything. So I was telling my wife about it, and it was about 30 days went by, and she said, you should have started your own company by now anyway. So literally, my wife gave me like that push to start, and she jumped online and got, you get your EIN and your LLC and all that. And big ups to my GBN family for getting me hooked up with my insurance and all that.
Yeah,
good
that's
stuff.
right. Yep.
So anyway, just took off from there.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So, what is your delivery area? Do you stay local here, or do you what? Let's talk about your delivery area.
Okay. Well, our service and delivery area would be from like Pawleys Island, as far as Little River. Yesterday, we actually had a referral move in Carolina Shores. So
not too far above Little River.
Right.
Yeah.
Just across the border there, but pretty much all that local area, Surfside, Cherry Grove. The local area. So yes, we only do local moves. We don't cater to cross country or anything like that.
You don't bring all those people down here from New York.
No. But
and Pennsylvania and Ohio.
But we see a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yes,
yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, what I find funny is that, and being in real estate, that when a lot of people move here, within a year they're moving somewhere else because they get to know the area better. I even recommend, which I probably shouldn't do being in real estate, but I do recommend sometimes that you rent the first year. Yeah. That way you can find out if you like that area or that location, and because you can go into a beautiful community, but the neighbors may not be the best.
I'm finding a lot more of those over the past year and a half. I've talked to quite a few people that are doing just that. They say, hey, we're renting. I just moved a guy. He had a place in Market Common. And now he's moving back up north. Then he's going to retire in another year or so and come back down. But like you say, he has a feel for what's what.
Right. So if somebody wanted to book your services, what do they need to know first? What do you need to know about it? And then how do they go about booking it?
What I need to know first to book us, it's best to send a text message or call. And we get a date locked in. We do take a deposit because it's especially like March through September.
Oh,
it's so
it's
busy.
Crazy. Yeah.
It can't be, we think we're moving and lock in this date for us. It just doesn't work like that in Myrtle Beach right now. You see. So they can put in special requests online, mademoves007.com, and they can tell us what they have. They can, put in whatever special request, but then we'll lock everything in with an actual phone call, or maybe I'll even go do a walkthrough with them.
Sure.
To see, especially if they have like safes or something like that.
Well, and you just said that, so you need to know what special things they have. I mean, it could be anything from, like you said, a safe or a pool table, or a king size bed that is all wood and heavy, or that definitely could change the dynamics of it, or whatever, the logistics even, because you may not have something big enough, or you may have to make arrangements to get something bigger to put it in there. Yeah. So that's interesting. So how much time in advance do I need before I book?
Definitely about 2 weeks, that March through September time frame, because right now it's just it comes in sometimes on a daily basis, and people seem to want things in a short time. They aren't really planning. It's just spur of the moment sometimes.
Right. And it's not a national company that has hundreds of trucks and hundreds of employees, which I would prefer not to use, if it were me, because they don't care as much as the local people do. They know that you're local, so they know that if something happens, they're coming after you. So if I were to book you, what do I need to know before you get there? And I say this because my mom had a lady that came around every 2 weeks and cleaned her house. The day before, my mom would spend hours cleaning the house before she got there. I'm like, why? That made no sense to me. That's what you're paying the lady for, is to clean. Why are you cleaning?
Right.
But anyway.
So before we get there, we would want them to make sure they have all, pets put away, any cats, dogs, lizards, snakes, and birds. Keep the young children out of the way. Know where their things are, know what's going and what's not going. As far as like when we get there, as far as planning and the maneuvering through, make sure the walkways are, we can have a clear walk path and things like that.
Right. So do you do all the packaging or packing up and stuff, or do you want them to do it, or can they choose which one?
We prefer that they pack their own stuff, but we have done that. We specifically more so focus on loading, unloading, assembly and loading and unloading. But we have done what we call pack and wrap jobs. I think nowadays people look at pricing for that and say, you know what, we'll do our own packing, and you guys come load it up.
Well, I'll tell you that, the one thing I can't stand in this world is moving. I cannot stand them. I can't stand that. But somebody told me a long time ago, and this made so much sense, that load one room at a time. Don't just go anywhere and grab boxes, because when you unload it, you can put it all in the room it goes in, and it's a lot easier.
And labels.
Because I have don't put bedroom on it. Put dad's bedroom. Put
the purple room, the blue
room, the kids' room, whatever you want to do it. Just do it that way. But yeah, that's something that's kind of crazy. But anyway, so but yeah, when it comes to pack, I guess you need to also put on there what's fragile, or what's that could be breakable, or that kind of stuff, so that you know when you go to pick it up.
Yes, indeed. And the stickers are sold everywhere, from the U-Haul stores to the storage places, and people
Amazon. Yeah.
And just that's good when people label their things. But if we pack it up, we'll label it, what it is, fragile. But most of the time, people have those stickers when we arrive, and we can just put them on there. A lot of people around here are kind of particular, so sometimes.
Yeah. When I used to own a FedEx and post office ship center, we had people all the time coming in buying boxes. We made just as much on the boxes, or sold just as much dollar-wise, not necessarily profit, as we did on the shipping. And so you don't have enough space to hold all that stuff, but that would be a great way to make some extra money. So anyway, so guys, stick with us. When we come back, we're going to talk after the break about what Made Moves 007 does when they arrive. What's the first thing that they do, and what that process looks like. So stick with us, GBN Live. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Just the Sand. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that the qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today. Hi, folks. Welcome back to GBN Live. I'm Todd Cartner, your host, and today we have with us the real Mr. Will Smith with Made Moves 007. He's part of our Carolina Forest chapter, and we also want to thank our sponsor, Grand Strand Law Group. You can reach them at 843-492-5422 or online at grandstrandlawgroup.com. If you have any questions for Will or myself today, make sure you type those in the comments, and we'll try to get them on air. If you didn't give permission already, go ahead and put that in at streamyard.com/Facebook so that we can see your comments. So make sure you ask your questions. We're counting on you. So Will, when we talked about this a little bit about them, whether a client does the packing or whether you do it and that kind of stuff, but that's a service that they can pay for if they want to do that. That's an extra thing or whatever.
Yes.
So what is the process if you do the packing? What do you do when you get there?
When we get there, if we're doing the packing, then of course typically we've already kind of went out and gave an estimate, figured out about how many boxes they're going to need, the packaging material and things like that, and we'll pretty much normally start on the kitchen because that's like the worst.
That's the hardest one.
It's like the worst little situation, right? The dishes and lining up the plates and patting the bottom of the box.
Right.
And, you know, all that stuffing and stuff like that, labeling it. So that's, if we do a pack and wrap, that's pretty much the first thing we do. And then the picture frames, and the pictures on the wall, and all that stuff. You know, typically to save the customer money, we'll do like a custom box for that, instead of having them buy an individual box. That can rack up to literally a couple $1,000s.
Absolutely. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
A picture frame or a framed picture box is not cheap.
Yeah.
We stopped carrying those. We had them. The one that we did do a lot of, though, was laptop boxes.
Yeah.
A lot of, because they are padded if you're shipping a laptop for whatever reason.
Yeah. So I'll go to maybe Bob Evans and get boxes, and then I'll customize the box and just score it with the razor and customize it.
Right.
And have them get extra padding because it does get very expensive. Just pack and wrap. So other than that, depending on the situation, if it's a load or if it's an unload or if it's a load unload, there's just all types of variables. But when we first get to the house, we want to make sure we do a walkthrough, check to see if there's any chandeliers low hanging, if it has stairs, that aggravating light on the wall.
Right.
Because everybody that's got that light on the wall chooses to get those big mattresses. It seems
Exactly.
like, you know?
Exactly.
Why couldn't you get a normal size mattress and you got the light on the wall, you know?
Right. Right.
So you gotta like make sure, okay, remember there's a light on the wall. So when we come down with the mattress and the bed frames, then we gotta, stay away from the lights that's sticking out of the walls and things like that. and just basically see what pathway and what route we're going to take as we, load or unload the house. And then we have this nice little blue neoprene roll that we roll out at floor protection for the most travel in and out part of the house.
Right. That makes a big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah. My uncle does high-end bathroom remodels, and he started putting down painter's cloth to walk in and out of, and it is amazing at how much trash that picks up that you don't think about. I mean, he has to shake them out like crazy outside when he's done. It's crazy how much stuff comes off of that.
Yep.
So that's a way to protect the client stuff. So
I'm at the car wash every now and then spraying it off, and I'm like, this is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Because I've worked with 18 different moving companies, not 4, but just because it was so busy when I started to get the calls from people who say, hey, you're new, but you seem to be, taking care of customers. Can you go take care of this move for us? Or can you come with us and help us with this move? So 18 different companies. I've only worked for one company, but I rarely saw people put those rolls down. Maybe 2 or 3 companies out of 18 companies that will actually put the roll down. But customers like that.
Oh, sure. Well, it just shows you care about their stuff.
Yeah.
You're moving their possessions, so yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Only thing they would care about more is their kids, and you question that sometimes. So when you show up, do you like if I'm packing it myself? Do you want me to leave all the stuff in each room so that when you go to load it, you have some type of system to do that? Is that how that would work?
Which it just depends, because sometimes people will have a lot of they'll go ahead and put the boxes in the garage, and pretty much normally, and it varies from situation to situation, because sometimes if it's a load only, that customer may have a big Penske truck. It doesn't have an attic, so it's kind of like I can wait and do the boxes midway, and I can put, furniture and dressers and a mattress and box spring, and then I can do boxes, and then I can do another layer. But typically, most customers will have like a U-Haul. It's got the attic, so we'll load the boxes in the attic, then we'll just kind of go from there. So where it's at in the house, it's kind of like whatever they want.
Yeah.
What makes them have a peace of mind. And yesterday in Carolina Shores, this guy, which God bless him, I'm thankful for the move, but it's kind of like the worst move for us sometimes, because he's making 3 stops. So when we get there and we're starting to do what we do, he's like, well, all this stuff here, I wanted to go on the truck first. And, I had to kind of get into it. Well, sir, all right, you see the attic? I really need to pack it a certain way. So you got to really work with me on what actually can go up in this attic first.
Sure.
Because it's a pretty nice sized house, Carolina Shores, on the golf course. They had a good bit of stuff. So if you don't pack it right, then you're going to run out of room on the truck.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. Right.
So that's probably one of the worst situations, when customers say, I want this to go here and this to go here, when it really needs to go in a different place. But we got it taken care of, though.
Yeah. And Will, when you're talking about the attic space, that's basically the part that's above the cab, where the driver sits. It's not a pull down staircase and you can go up in the attic.
Mom's attic.
Just making sure we're all on the same page. Yeah. So what if I need to store my items a few days before we go to another location? Is that something you can handle? Is that something that they just leave it in the truck? You come, because sometimes they may not be able to close on their house for a day or two, or sometimes they may not be able to move into their new place because the lease is not up from the previous one, or the workers aren't done yet.
That's a case by case.
Right.
There have been times where the customer had a field where they could just kind of put the truck and lock it up. And I probably had 1 or 2 people that I just said, okay, look, we're loading you up today. For instance, Highway 90 has Old Mill and those new places, and I live right there off of River Oaks. So I've just took the truck home.
Gotcha.
Had them lock it up. Here's your lock, and then we'll meet you at Old Mill or whatever neighborhood tomorrow. And that's case by case, but normally just for a day is.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, everybody's situation is different. You're exactly right. Everybody's home's different. You're exactly right. So, do you offer any type of services other than the moving, loading in, loading out? And what I mean by that is like if I wasn't able to and I had heavy furniture and I wanted to rearrange my living room, is that something we could call you to do?
Yes, we do that. And being in this area is definitely heavy 55 and up. And you know,
It is.
unfortunately, sometimes we break down when we get older, but we do situations like customers will call us and say, you know, we can't really sell our home right now, or we don't have anywhere else to move to. So can you get the bedroom set from upstairs and bring it downstairs? Take this upstairs. You know,
Right.
we do that, but we also do the rearranging of the furniture and things like that. So if they want us to place stuff, we can take care of that for them.
I'm gonna tell you, I have a friend of mine that's a handyman, and you would be shocked at how many calls he gets to assemble and disassemble furniture. I mean, it's crazy. And you know, IKEA, you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
They have some great furniture, but I'm gonna tell you what, you need a degree in engineering to put some of their stuff together. They say, "Oh, it's easy, you can do it." Yeah.
So the instructions are never right, almost.
Never, ever, ever. It's like, wait a minute, that should have been done first, and then you have to take it back apart.
I don't like when they have like the whole extra bag of screws, because I'm just the way I'm wired. I'm thinking I'm missing something. I'm just looking at that extra bag, and I finally realized like that's just all extra stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. I hate that too. I agree. I have to, when I do that kind of stuff, I have to lay all the different types of parts in a pile. You know, I can't just throw them all together and pick what I need. I have to lay them out and sort them. But anyway, so larger. There you go. We got our rapid fire now, so we're gonna learn a little bit more about Will. So then we'll come back to that question in just a second. So tell us what your first job was.
Ooh, my first job, I think it was Wendy's. I think.
Wendy's. You know what? I used to love Wendy's, and I'm just not as crazy about. I think their quality's gone downhill. I don't know what you think.
Quality and the workers, unfortunately.
Quality and the workers. Well, it's hard to get workers anyway, but yeah, you're right. And when they switched their fries several years ago, that kind of turned me off. I used to think they had the best French fries.
We had the thick ones back in the
day. Anyway, night owl or an early bird?
Night owl, but I can do the early bird thing. I mean, I was in the Army, so getting up early, I can do it. But I have had a tendency to stay up late.
I forgot you were in the Army. You probably have some good conversations with Jason, don't you?
Oh yeah, love Jason. Shout out to Jason Herring. That's my brother.
He's a good guy. He really is.
I've got two military occupational specialties. Matter of fact, I'm majored in communications and avionics. So,
oh, nice, nice. I never knew that. So, dog or a cat person?
Ooh, probably these days I just go with the dog. Cats are cool though.
Yeah. Dark or milk chocolate?
I'm a chocolate guy. Dark chocolate. Let's mix it together.
Mix it together. There you go. Hybrid. Your favorite color?
That's a hard one right there. I just, it depends on what day it is. That's all I can say.
Wow, I think that's a first, Tommy. I don't think we've had anybody that couldn't decide. Favorite word or phrase?
Now, see, now I'm in the made moves 007 mindset. Let's get it done.
There you go. I like that. I like that a lot.
Let's get it going. Let's go.
Favorite movie or actor?
Gosh, first one comes to mind right now is like Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson. Like I love them guys.
Yeah, I like them both. And unfortunately, Bruce is not doing well. But that's they're two great actors. That's for sure.
And Burt Reynolds, but Cannonball Run, definitely one of my favorite movies.
I like him much more in the younger days than I do the now.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit,
Run, and Coach Carter, definitely my top movies.
Yeah, great movies. Yeah. Favorite song or artist?
I just called to say I love you. It's probably like one of my favorite from childhood. Yeah, I had a music and entertainment business, so I've been around a few people. Shouts out to China White.
yeah, that's awesome. Favorite vacation spot?
Probably the most recently, Paradise Island in the Bahamas. unbelievable.
It is. Yeah, that's probably that. Well, that was built for tourists, so we. But that is a nice place. You're right. And your favorite mobile app?
GBN.
Oh, GBN. Yeah. Well, we appreciate the shout out. But is there any others that you use regularly?
Really, mobile apps.
Yeah.
GBN really is like one of my favorite apps.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have to use some apps for business, but I wouldn't shout them out.
I hear you. I hear you. All right. Well, awesome. So now let's get back to the question that we asked of what makes Made Moves 007 different than some of the larger companies.
Okay, so what makes us different than some of the larger companies? Todd, when you book Made Moves 007, your furniture and your personal items are not going to be lost in South Miami somewhere or North Charleston.
That's so true.
That will not happen.
That is so true.
I hear the horror stories, and all I can say is I'm so sorry that happened to you. Whenever you do get your furniture, we'll come and unload it for you. But it happens way too often. So we are a local company. We cater to the locals, and we cater to their specific needs, wants, and desires. So other than that, our first goal of Made Moves 007, our mission, is to first give our customers a peace of mind. That may come through just sending them a ways. I've had probably 50 or 60 people say, "Oh, I never used that." But that also shows me that, and I'm 51, but and our customers are my age, older, some
Sure.
younger. But that also shows me that no other contractor that has been coming to their house for whatever has ever sent them like, "Hey, the ways, and I'll be there in 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever," and they can track you. And our customers know if I'm taking a PP break at the Circle K.
Well, it's a simple tool that makes them feel more comfortable with you. I got a funny story to tell you though about your saying ended up somewhere else. There's another company out there, and I will let you finish the sentence, but it's April showers bring
Mayflower.
That's the other company. I sold a house down here, and the guy was not the owners of the house, the buyers. They weren't going to be there yet because they stopped midway from New Jersey to spend some time with their kids in Virginia. So their neighbor that they had just met, when the moving company got there, the neighbor was going to let them in. So they let the moving company in. They went in, set up all the furniture. They even unpacked everything and put it in the kitchen, the whole 9 yards. 2 days later, here comes the buyers into their new house, and they walk in and they said, "What's all this?" It was somebody else's stuff.
I have a similar situation.
Like they put somebody else's stuff in that house.
I had a similar situation here. Like, we were going to do an unload for a guy, maybe like a 20-foot, and that was one of the big trucks. And those guys were doing our unload. So when we got there, the guy was like, "Hey, your guys already showed up." And I'm like, "No, sir. Made Moves 007. You told us 9:45. It's 9:40. We're here to do the unload." So they had literally done probably 50% of the truck. And then their big truck came. But
So that you just brought up a thing here, and I guess I didn't understand this because I suck and I'm old and I can't hear. No, just picking. So if Mayflower, as you just mentioned, since you already said it, if they come down here, an owner or property owner can call you and have you to unload the truck from Mayflower?
in some situations, they might not necessarily call me because of the way the transaction goes, but however they're brokering through Mayflower, they could contact us because that happens a lot, and we could come help with those. But
Very interesting.
Since I've had my own company, I just stick to pretty much up to the 26 footers. We don't go do the
Right.
53 footers, but I've done that when I worked for another company. It was pretty cool.
Well, that's interesting stuff. But anyway, hey guys, if you want to get in touch with Will, you can reach him at 864-356-0484. That's 864-356-0484. If you know somebody that needs to move some stuff from one side of the county to the other side, give Will a call. So, Will, before you go, I know you've been a member of GBN for quite some time, but tell us what referral networking means to you, and specifically why you chose GBN.
What referral networking means to me in this aspect with GBN, it's building mutually beneficial give and take relationships, because you can't be the person receiving all the time,
Right.
you know. And then GBN has the friends first culture, you know. It's get to know the person, get to know about them, even their family. And you know, when you know people and you like them, and then you begin to trust them, it's easier to pass a referral to. So just the whole GBN culture, the leadership, ethics, morals, the teamwork. You know, I've always looked, because there's all kinds of different, you know, networking this and that out there.
Right.
And I've got over 4,700 people in my phone, so I've got the calls. Hey, come do this. Come join that. Come check this out.
Sure.
I have to go where my spirit flows the best. So teamwork. So to some people, it means take everything on myself for a team. But here, I feel like it's more together. Everyone accomplishes more. And just over 2 years of being in GBN, it wasn't like a hype. 2 years later, I can still feel the same way and still pay my dues and come to GBN.
That's it.
Because
Yeah.
it's more of the real thing for me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that comment. And you know that Will's one of the first people I reached out to when I started a chapter here, and I said, hey, you got to come and at least check it out. So, and we are so happy you did, and so happy that you still remember and spread the good word about us. So, well, guys, thanks so much, Will, for joining us today, and thank you guys for watching. And remember, if it's GBN or if it's Wednesday, it's GBN Live. We'll see you next time. Have a good week.